Superintendent Trombetta, Principal Nolan, the Board of Education, honored guests, parents, and the graduates. Congratulations to the class of 2025. It's an awesome accomplishment. It's great to be home. It really is. It's been a long time. So if you don't mind, I just want to start out with a couple of thank yous that I've been sitting on for about 40 some odd years. So I'd like to thank the Sachem Guidance Department for allowing me to drop calculus on the eve of my senior year, agreeing with my desperate plea that a future sports writer had no business taking calculus. And believe me, that made my year much more enjoyable. I'd like to thank my 12th grade homeroom teacher, Denise Adler, for giving me a 5-minute grace period at the start of each day when I got to school. She was one of the advisors on the school newspaper, and I guess she thought I was up late at night working on newspaper stories and that I needed a little extra time to get to school in the morning. So I showed up, I had my car, I drove myself and I drove my friend, and I showed up pretty much a few minutes late every day, but I never got marked late. Unfortunately, my friend, my passenger, his homeroom teacher was not as forgiving, and he got detention for chronic tardiness. I'd also like to thank the Sachem 1980 baseball and basketball teams for being better than I was. Every member of the team was better than I was, and you know, the reason I say that, and it stung at first because I got cut from both teams, but I quickly realized that it was actually a blessing in disguise, because my true passion is covering sports and going to the event like I did so many times right on this field here covering football and reporting and writing about it. You know, that was my true passion. And I got an early education here at Sachem, and I am forever indebted to the coaches and administrators at Sachem that treated me like a professional reporter and not just some annoying newspaper geek. Okay. Quick story, 15 years after graduation, I was working for the Daily News, and they signed a Sachem alum while I was covering the Jets. They signed a Sachem alum, Jumbo Elliott, class of '83, and I had known him for years, so I thought it was pretty cool that two Sachem alums were able to interact on a daily basis. That was pretty fun. But when I was sitting here, like you guys are, at graduation, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And that brings me to the last part of my speech, just 3 quick pieces of advice for me. Number 1, follow your passion. Find something that you love to do, and your job won't feel like work. I tell people all the time that I haven't worked a day in my life, you know, because I like my job so much. So try to find something that makes your heart sing. Number 2, don't sweat the small stuff. There will be bumps on your journey, no doubt, and that's okay. Just smile and move on. There was one time I was getting ready to do a live hit on ESPN Sports Center. I was standing outside the Jets facility. I had my suit and tie on. I was holding a microphone, getting ready to go on TV. And all of a sudden, there was a bird up above that decided to drop a little present on my right shoulder. I could hear the producer in my earpiece saying 30 seconds to air. So I was very calm. I didn't panic. I walked away, picked up a paper towel, cleaned up the mess off my shoulder, and got back in position in front of the camera just as Hannah Storm was telling all the viewers, and now we're going live to New Jersey for a report on the Jets. Somehow through that little mini crisis, I kept my composure. So like I said, don't sweat the small stuff. If you ever get pooped on, figuratively or literally, don't sweat it and relax. And lastly, number 3, use your words wisely. We live in a social media world where we're all basically writers. We have a public forum to express ourselves, and I think that's awesome. But know this, words are powerful. They can make you laugh, they can make you cry, they can make you angry, and they last a long time. They have a lasting impression, and I learned a hard lesson about that. Early in my career, I wrote a story about a star player on the New York Jets who was injured, and he wasn't going to the away games. So I asked him, what do you do on Sunday? And he said, I basically just stay at home, sit on my couch, and watch the games on TV like all the fans do. So I was young, I was trying to make a name for myself, and I decided to be snarky. So in my story for Newsday, I called that player a high-priced couch potato. And that was really mean, a mean thing to say. And I decided, at first I'm like, big deal. My colleagues thought it was funny, and people are gonna forget about it in a day or two anyway, so it's no big deal. Well, 15 years later, I was at an event and I ran into that player. And he was friendly. He invited me over and he introduced me to his wife. And the first thing she told me was, "You're the one who called my husband a high-priced couch potato." I was floored. That little sentence, which I had completely forgotten about, made such an impression on this woman that she remembered it for 15 years. Me, I will never forget it. Now, I'm lucky because they are two wonderful people and we happen to be friends to this day, so I got kind of lucky on that one. But it just reminds me that words are powerful. Use your words wisely, and I will leave you with these words. Thank you for having me. This has been a tremendous honor, and again, congratulations to the class of 2025.